Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. Hey, YouTube. How's it going? Hey, today I'm going to run a benchmark in 3DMark using Firestrike version 1.1 in 1080p, 1920 by 1080. Um, Basically, kind of giving you guys an idea of this R9 295X2 AMD video card that I have installed in this extremely small Elite Cooler Master 130 box. I think that in the end, my performance is limited by my ability to cool the card, even though it comes with a stock water cooler. Um, Apparently, if I were to run this benchmark over and over and over again, it would definitely throttle down. It would overheat. So here we go. Let's see what happens. And at the end, we'll compare it with other benchmarks I ran in the same kind of configuration as far as physically the way the box is set up. Uh, with my GTX 690. Then I think I have some also benchmarks with the GTX 680, but not in the same, again, physical configuration. So one thing I noticed here in the first test, graphics test one, it'll average around 100 some frames a second. So this is the card is first time it's run the benchmark, and it's at its stock temperature. So you're going to get the best performance here on this first benchmark. So let it go, let it go. Nice frame rate. Beautiful graphics. AMD flagship dual processor GPU. All right, here we go. Graphics test number two. This one runs in the 70s, 80s. Let's see. My target for this benchmark is around 14,500. That's my guess. Um, we'll see. One thing I also did was change my fan direction. So initially I had it at pushing air into the chassis, which I noticed when the card gets, when it starts actually playing games, whatever. Obviously the card heats up because the processors are being utilized. My box would get extremely hot, almost hot enough that I could probably cook an egg on top of it. Also, the way the box is set up as well. My processor vents into my power supply. Again, if you're not using an Elite 130, you probably wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But if you look it up, you kind of understand kind of what I'm talking about. You can have a choice to mount power supply up or down with the fan pointing one way or the other. So the pull air is pulling air out of the chassis into open air. And it's definitely reduced the temperatures of the box itself. So the physics test, this is primarily a CPU test. So I'm running a i7-3770K. Um, it's not overclocked. It's running stock speeds. In fact, I have the stock air cooler on it. So I, I'm not really able to overclock with a lot of success in this physical configuration. So here's the combined test. GTX 690 ran at about 12 frames a second, 13 frames a second. I think this one gets to 20. I don't think it'd ever get to 25, but let's see. Oh, there's 27, 30. The red dude gets all mad. All right, here we go. Let's see this benchmark here. 14,286. So maybe not as what I was expecting. I think mainly because again, it's not. I think that the pull configuration, although good for my box itself, may not be good for the you know processing power of the 295X2. But hey, whatever. At least I'm better than 98% of all results, which is great. Let's see some of my information here. 2 gigs of RAM, not really important here. So let's look at my results. And well, let's take some things into consideration here. The graphics score, 21,326. The physics score, 9805. Okay. Those are two most important things. Is the graphics score primarily tells you the processing power of your video card itself. Physics score, again, the physics is more related to your processor. And the way to, let's see here, benchmark run, what does it show? Oh, wrong. So let's go to my results. Let me look at that one. That one I was running it over and over again. So we try to add it to compare. To add this one to compare. Let's do the one that I scored highest on. Add this one to compare. And let's do one with my 690. My highest 690 score was non-existent here. So we got one. This is not good, but let's add it to compare. And let's see. Compare. NVIDIA GTX 690 only had two gigs of video RAM for each processor. Notice again the that's interesting right there. Everything else should be the same. So here we go. So I think there was something not so kosher about this result from my GTX. So let's kind of ignore that. Let's go back to my results. And let's just compare this one, and then let's compare this one. Okay. Who cares about cookies? Privacy, baby. Come on now. Don't get rid of that. Look at this. AMD Phenom 2X6. Oh my lord. Old school stuff. All right. Let's see where we kind of screwed the pooch here. These should be the same. That kind of space oddity there. Notice it's the graphics score a little bit higher this time. But if you notice, the physics score is about the same. All right. So the graphics test, the peak frames per second, 112. So it was 108. Which if you notice, the physics test is the same. Because again, that's more of the processor benchmarking. The combined test, only a touch more, 0.6 frames per second. Anyway, I feel that this score here, this graphics score, could be improved if I could get more cooling. Right now I have a fan blowing into my box, which obviously is ghetto. I got to figure out kind of what I want to do with this. It was kind of more of a proof of concept. If I could just run the baddest video card I could afford in the smallest chassis I could stuff it in, and it was quite an ordeal. I may be able to. My only other plan is to actually put another fan that will make it into a push-pull configuration. I just don't know how much space I can afford inside of my chassis in order to even be able to do that, because I have to side mount my hard drives. So there we go. That's just a look at 3DMark benchmarking the R9 295X2, all at stock settings. But again, remember, I feel I'm limited by my cooling and my ability to cool the radiator as efficiently as possible. So, hey, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to talk with you again.